The second question was about the dividend. First, I hope that you do appreciate your company that has been probably among very few paying religiously dividend, to its shareholders. I'm sure you noticed that. It's true that I mentioned that there are no, or let's say that deal with BP did not go through, and we were reserving some funds for it. But does not mean there are no other options and let's say opportunities for acquisitions. What we do expect is that there will be no more the big size of acquisitions. Like you have seen recently, this BP or Chevron or Shell. They are not there anymore. The Shell has been concluded. It seems to be Chevron has been concluded. BP has been concluded. So there will be more like small scale, like we have been doing in Uganda, now Tanzania, in Burundi, Congo, in Burundi, in Zimbabwe, Zambia, we are looking at in Mozambique. But there will be the small scale that will require funds, will require capital, not the level of that one, which was in the hundreds of millions of dollars, just to tell you, okay? But so means that we'll still need to reserve funds for further expansion, development, and acquisitions in this area. Whether the future dividends will be better or less depends on the results. I mentioned, and you are right, I stated it, that we are expecting a strong first half of 2011. It would be for the board to decide what would be the dividend paid, if at all, as interim dividend. The policy of the board has been to pay interim dividend. Yes, it's true, except last year, which we didn't. I don't know, I don't want to undertake to decide on behalf of the board, but I see the board sitting and reviewing as to the first half of 2011. Okay, then Samuel asked on oil prices, and I liked the statement you said. I hope you're keeping KenolKobil ahead of others. And I tell you, this has been the strength of this management, of this company, board, and so on. We always try to be ahead of everyone, I tell you, especially our competitors. And not only in pricing. By the pricing, not necessarily you should be ahead, but when it comes to procurement, inventories, acquisitions of assets, all sorts of issues related to industry, promotions, we are very much, we feel, and we see it, by the way, being ahead of the industry. And I think the results speak for themselves. The results do reflect our policies in the market, policies on inventories, policies on pricing, and marketing, and so on. So I tell you, rest assured, you are in good hands, and we are trying to be, we are always trying our best to be ahead of the market. If the market becomes deregulated again, not always we will be the lowest, and not always we will be the highest, okay? And of course, we'll try to benchmark with the market, but it will always be driven by our cost of goods, by the fair return on investment, by a fair margin that the company should enjoy in this business. Listen, this business is not simple. We have a massive assets spread all over in terms of, sites, developments, terminals, and so on. So we need a fair return on this investment, okay? So That will be driving our pricing policy, as well as all sort of marketing aspects. And I think you have seen Kenya has been very creative. I mean, look at this recent campaign of the Deal Poor. To the credit of Evelyn, Isaac, David, Wambugu, you know, the guys who are running Kenya. They are ahead of everyone, even in regulated environment. They came up with a concept which took by surprise everybody. So we are trying our best in this area. On the corporate campaign and so on, and you asked us to protect the image, the name, that's what I understood from what you said. I think you noticed that we have just launched a major PR campaign trying to boost the image of the company in Kenya. By the way, we are planning to extend it to all other countries we operate. And I hope you like it. I'm sure you have seen the TVC on TV. I'm sure you heard the jingle on radio, and we are boosting on the printed in the printed media. We are trying to boost the image and the name of the company, and to be, you know, more appreciated and respected. And by the way, one of the signs that we see supporting it, the fact that we have now 8,300 shareholders. Yes, unlike previously, a year ago, 2,600, it's a sign of people wanting to be more associated with us. We are becoming more popular company, which pleases us. And it's part of the exercise we have just launched to, you know, change the image of the company. I know the image in the past was somewhere here between very aggressive, very problematic, very, there are many issues and so on. And they being African, very much care for the consumers and so on. So we'll do our best. And if you have any better idea, if any new one that you would like to, and I may ask everyone here, if you, and I'm sure you care for the company, you care for your investment, if you have any idea on what to do in Kenya or outside Kenya, whether it is new stations, takeover station, whether it is a new campaign, whether it is to do with the pricing policy of a certain product in certain region, tell us. You can always write to us. There is, our website is very interactive today. You can always communicate. And by the way, we do get, I know I get quite a number. I know others get many emails from shareholders. Some of them truly propose to us what to do. Tell us, you know, I've been in that place, I've been in that place. You remember the other day we got comments about a station in Mount Kenya. Other one was on Kilifi. You remember Kilifi? We appreciate and will appreciate very much your feedback, yes, given to the management. At the end of the day, this will help us a lot to do our job better.
My name is Mr. Joseph Dambuki from Machakos.
Yeah, I remember.
Mine is a simple question. And this regards the closure date of books. Most companies close prior to the AGM date. What effect would the later closure date have on the reconciliation of records?
It's actually a regulation by the CMA that the register closure date must be approved at the AGM. So the date that we give is actually a recommendation, and the best date is normally immediately after the AGM. But in terms of the setting of the AGM date and the sensitivity on the pricing, because maybe that's one of the other issues that can come in, that is already communicated much earlier to the CMA and the NSE, so that when the shares are trading on the NSE, that's already taken care of. But you cannot close the date before the AGM and before the shareholders have recommended. And don't forget, by the time you're coming to the AGM, there is an agenda item to approve a dividend. So if you close the books before, and that agenda item has not even come to the members, then it might be inconsequential if you come to the meeting and that approval is not given by the shareholders. So it cannot be before.
Shareholders will remember last year it was approved that we would pay dividends electronically. Now, a lot of the shareholders have not given their signed mandates to Livingston, so where possible we will pay electronically, but the ones that haven't given their signed mandates and there's special forms to be filled in and confirmation of your bank accounts, those ones will unfortunately still have to go by check. But we have asked Livingston to actually get all that information from the shareholders at the door. So you should give all your information, because to pay via checks is not, as Mr. Segman says, it's not the most efficient, and it causes delay, and it really isn't good. It's expensive as well, and it's much better electronically. When CDSC addresses it, you'll see it actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay, we are even looking at paying using M-Pesa, Zap. We'll try to go with, with technology and, advanced systems. We cannot have 8,600 or 300 checks signed in our offices. And maybe next year it will be 10,000 and maybe 20,000. Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming and attending the AGM. See you. Bye-bye.